There are many things in the world that cannot be explained, even after thorough examination. Some remain mysteries that baffle everyone, including the scientific community. Join us as we explore these mysterious discoveries that defy science. Number 1. Drop discs. Beneath the Bayan Karola Mountains, which run through China and Tibet, lies a labyrinth of caves that are mysteriously interconnected. Its origin is unknown and scientists are not sure if it is an artificial or natural formation. Researchers have found inside these caves the buried bodies of some of the most unusual human-like species ever found. These caves were accidentally discovered by a team of archaeologists in 1938. Initially, they thought they had found ape remains. However, it is well known that apes do not bury their dead, so which creature did those strange skeletons belong to? Comparisons have shown that they were neither human nor animal, at least not fully human. The skeleton had small limbs and very thin legs, but compared to their short, weak frames, these creatures had very large heads. A Chinese archaeologist and his team were inspecting the skeletons when they found something even stranger, a circular disc half buried in the cave floor. The disc was made of stone, but it had a hole in the center. On the disc there were inscriptions and a spiral groove around it with 2 rings. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that these inscriptions appeared to be some type of hieroglyphs. However, this unusual language is not recognized by anyone, and not even ancient writing experts have been able to translate it. Another intriguing discovery are the carvings on the walls depicting the sun, moon, and stars linked together by small dotted lines. This discovery raises a question: are these creatures trying to communicate with us? It took 20 years for someone to translate the inscriptions on this album. The doctor announced that he had deciphered these signs as a story, but what he discovered was so shocking that the authorities refused to allow him to share his discovery with the world. More than 700 of these discs have been recovered, according to the doctor. According to him, they tell the story of a space probe that arrived on Earth from another planet and crashed in this region. Supposedly, the ship's inhabitants came from an advanced civilization with peaceful intentions. However, their more hostile neighbors made coexistence difficult and they had to flee to other worlds. The doctor's translation was hidden so that the citizens of Earth would not know that life forms exist in some parts of the universe that we have not yet explored. Number 2. Terracotta Army. Discovered in 1974 by a farmer named Yan while drilling a well in Xi'an, China, it represents an astonishing collection of life-sized statues. Built during the reign of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, this army is a monument to the precision and centralized management of the Qin dynasty. Composed of thousands of unique human and animal figures, it reveals the emperor's ambition to have an immortal imperial guard to protect him in the afterlife. Despite their authenticity, the original weapons and armor were stolen shortly after their creation, leaving the statues vulnerable to time and looters. This impressive archaeological find highlights the designer's attention to detail and provides a unique insight into the military power and strategy of ancient China. Although the Terracotta Army is a marvel of imperial design, the exact location of Qin Shi Huang's tomb remains an unsolved mystery. The emperor's legacy encompasses unification and conflict, and the army offers a fascinating glimpse into Qin Shi Huang's funerary vision. Despite the loss of the original weapons, these statues intertwined with the mystery of the emperor remain an invaluable source of information about the ancient history of China and the mentality of its rulers. Number 3. Acambaro figures. The figures are an intriguing archaeological find discovered by Valdemar J. Rudd, a German amateur archaeologist, in Acambaro, Guanajuato, Mexico. These figures consist of approximately 33,000 tiny ceramic representations that challenge conventional perceptions of history and archaeology. Rudd claimed that the figures resembled dinosaurs, which has sparked controversy and debates over their authenticity. Some consider the figures to be anachronistic and question the coexistence of humans and dinosaurs. However, skeptics point to the lack of formal archaeological excavations and proper documentation, which has raised questions about the veracity of the findings. Controversy also centers on Rudd's motivations and tactics, suggesting that the figures could be modern fabrications to support a dramatic narrative. The Acambaro figures raise questions about the relationship between humans and dinosaurs, but the lack of solid scientific support and the absence of formal investigations underscore the need for a more rigorous archaeological approach to evaluate their authenticity. Number 4. Lascaux Cave. Nestled in the picturesque landscapes of southwestern France is the extraordinary Lascaux Cave, famous for its captivating Paleolithic cave paintings. Discovered by 4 teenagers on September 12, 1940, the walls of the cave house almost 2,000 figures of animals, humans, and abstract signs. The collection includes deer, cows, bison, cats, a bird, a rhinoceros, and a bear, all engraved with great detail and artistic finesse. These paintings offer a vivid image of the ancient world and the sacred act of painting. In 1948, the cave was opened to the public, but the daily influx threatened the delicate paintings. In 1963, it was decided to close Lascaux to preserve its valuable heritage. 2 decades later, an exact replica called Lascaux II emerged, offering visitors the chance to experience the magic of the cave without endangering the original works of art. The Lascaux paintings feature prominently in art history, and one particularly striking work, known as the Crossed Bison, shows the painter's extraordinary skill in capturing realism and using perspective. Despite these preservation efforts, the Lascaux cave still faces new threats, such as the growth of mold, fungi, and bacteria that can damage the paintings and erase their timeless beauty. Number 5. The Fire Mummies. Unlike the Egyptians, ancient Filipino tribes had a unique way of treating their dead. They turned them into fiery mummies. This involved subjecting the bodies to intense fire instead of embalming them. When someone was about to die, they were given a lot of salt to dehydrate the body from the inside. After dying, the bodies were roasted for weeks or months. Sometimes they even put hot embers inside them to burn them from the inside. Once completely dry, the bodies were made into a kind of compact human jerky and placed in small lemon-shaped coffins called kamanzi. These coffins were hidden in remote caves in the mountains. When the Spanish colonizers arrived in the 15th century, these practices disappeared due to the Catholic burial customs they brought. However, the Caban caves, where the mummies were found, were later rediscovered. So far, more than 300 fire mummies have been found in these caves, some up to 100 years old with tribal tattoos visible on their skin. Number 6. In 1961, Wallace Lane, Virginia Maxey, and Mike Mikesell made an intriguing discovery near a boat in California. This was no ordinary spark plug, but one that seemed to come from a time when spark plugs did not yet exist. This object was later known as the Coso artifact. Initially, it was speculated to be a misplaced object, possibly indicating the presence of an ancient advanced civilization or other extraordinary explanations. Like the London hammer, Coso's artifact was encased in what appeared to be a 500,000-year-old natural formation, immediately becoming unusual. The apparent age of the artifact suggested it could be a misplaced object. Finding a modern spark plug in a seemingly ancient geological formation led to speculation about time travel, ancient advanced civilizations, or extraterrestrial interventions. Although the surrounding material was initially thought to be a geode that takes a long time to form, many believe that Coso's artifact, like the London hammer, is probably a hoax. Despite doubts, it remains one of the most intriguing discoveries of the contemporary era. Number 7. Panda in the tomb. After the death of an emperor who lived 2,200 years ago, the remains of a giant panda were discovered near his refuge. At that time, scientists did not even suspect that these animals could have lived in China during the reign of the emperor. Many other creatures were also found near the tomb, from powerful tigers to peacocks and monkeys. Unfortunately, many of them are now threatened. Number 8. The oldest human footprints ever discovered may be even older than previously thought. Controversial fossilized footprints discovered in 2002 on the Greek island of Crete are around 6.05 million years old, according to new research. The 50 footprints, which were originally dated to be 5.7 million years old, could have preceded this estimate proposed by academics in 2017 by more than 300,000 years. It is believed that the footprints, thought to have been left by hominids, could change scientists' understanding of how early humans evolved, shifting the group's starting point from Africa to the Mediterranean Sea. Researchers believe the bipedal creature that left the footprints belonged to Greekopithecus freybergi, an early human ancestor discovered in 1944 and nicknamed the Greco. The footprints are almost 2.5 million years older than the footprints of Australopithecus afarensis from Litoli, Tanzania. If the team's findings are correct, they could complicate the widely accepted belief that humans originated in Africa. Number 9. Allen Hills 84001. Known as ALH 84001, it is a fragment of a meteorite from Mars that was discovered in the Antarctic region of Allen Hills. It was found on December 27, 1984 by a team of American meteorite hunters from the ANSMET project. This meteorite, weighing 1.93 kilograms, belongs to the Shergotite Neclite Chasignite group and is believed to have formed approximately 4.09 billion years ago from Martian molten rock. Its Martian origin has been confirmed by chemical analysis, which revealed the presence of liquid water on the surface of Mars in that period. The discovery of ALH 84001 in Antarctica is due to terrain conditions that make it easier to detect objects that do not belong in the environment. The ANSMET project carries out annual expeditions to Antarctica, where they have found impressive rocks. It was Roberta Esker, Antarctic Meteorite Laboratory Manager, who discovered it in the remote western Allen Hills icefield. In 2005, research was carried out to study the origin of ALH 84001. According to analyses, the meteorite appears to have broken off from Eos Chasma in the Valles Marineris Canyon, due to a meteorite impact approximately 17 million years ago. Radiometric dating studies indicate that ALH 84001 arrived on Earth about 13,000 years ago. This meteorite has generated great interest due to the possible signs of biological life that have been suggested in it. In 1996, a group of experts claimed to have found evidence of Martian microorganisms in the meteorite, sparking intense debate. Although this theory was quickly rejected by the majority of the scientific community, it set a precedent for future advances in the field of astrobiology. Although the existence of Martian life in this meteorite has not been confirmed, its study has been fundamental in exploring the possibility of alien microorganisms on other celestial bodies. This reminds us that even if ALH 84001 did not contain fossilized bacteria, we should not rule out the possibility of extraterrestrial life hidden in the core of other meteorites. Number 10. The Sky Blue Stone. In 1990, a miner in Sierra Leone stumbled across a highly anomalous stone unlike any seen before. Angel or Pythron, and he was exploring West Africa when he discovered a gem of a vibrant sky blue color. After performing carbon dating tests, it was determined that the curious rock fell to Earth between 11,000 and 18,000 years ago, but most notably, laboratory analysis revealed that the composition of the sky blue stone was pure oxygen. This oxygen-rich material comprised 77% of the gem, along with carbon, silicon, calcium, and sodium.
The sky blue stone is an enigma.
Although it looks like it was made by humans, it was found in rock layers much older than any civilization. Scientists have studied it, but with limited samples they don't know where it came from and how it formed. Some think that an ancient civilization could have created it with unknown technology, while others believe that it could have formed naturally due to unknown geological processes. Its composition is very different from common terrestrial minerals. The discovery in an ancient rock layer suggests it existed before humans. Although it is beautiful, its origin will remain a mystery to humanity.
Number 11.
The Roswell stone is a mysterious object that has sparked great interest and debate among paranormal investigators, ufologists, and UFO enthusiasts. The artifact was discovered in the 2000s in New Mexico, near the site of the famous 1947 Roswell incident, when a suspected UFO crashed in the region. The rock in question is small in size, approximately the size of a hand, and has an oval shape with considerable weight. What really stands out about the Roswell stone is the design on its surface, a series of geometric engravings that include a circle with a straight line through it, plus other complex symbols that resemble those found on the circles of the crops.
A particularly interesting aspect of the Roswell stone is its unusual magnetism.
It has been proven that the rock has magnetic properties that are not common in objects of its type. Some researchers have pointed out that this magnetism could be related to its origin or its possible purpose, although there is no conclusive explanation in this regard. These engravings and their magnetism have led many people to speculate about their extraterrestrial origin, as the designs seem too precise and elaborate to be the work of nature or humans. Additionally, the stone's unusual magnetism adds another layer of mystery to its story. However, the scientific community has expressed skepticism about claims of an extraterrestrial origin for the Roswell stone. Analysis and laboratory tests have been carried out to determine its composition and possible origin, but no conclusive evidence has been found to support the theory that the rock comes from another world. Some alternative theories suggest that the stone could be a piece of art or a human-made object from a past culture. Despite the controversies, the Roswell stone remains an object of interest to both researchers and the general public, and its origin and purpose remain an unsolved mystery.
Number 12. Atacama Mummy.
In 2003, a mummified skeleton discovered in Chile's Atacama Desert baffled many due to its unusual appearance, which some compared to that of an alien. The skeleton, nicknamed Ata, was only 15 centimeters tall and had very strange features, such as a long skull and fewer ribs than normal. It was speculated that it could be an unknown primate or even an extraterrestrial life form. However, researchers conducted genomic analyses over 5 years and determined that Ata is human, likely a fetus with mutations linked to bone diseases. Genetic mutations explain Ata's bone and musculoskeletal deformities, such as scoliosis and dwarfism. Although some mutations are rare and never seen before, it is speculated that exposure to nitrates in the environment where it was found could have played a role in its formation.
Number 13.
The Vikings, known for their ferocity, carried the Ulfberht sword, a weapon constructed of steel so pure that its quality remains difficult to replicate today. Around 171 Ulfberht swords, dating between 800 and 1000 AD, have been found in Europe. These swords were made of a metal with almost no impurities, known as crucible steel, which required smelting iron at very high temperatures, something unknown in Europe for centuries.
Ulfberht steel contained 3 times more carbon than other swords of the time, making them stronger, more flexible, and lighter.
This level of purity and carbon control was a feat thought impossible before the Industrial Revolution.
However, medieval blacksmiths could not reach the temperatures necessary to separate slag from iron.
Experts believe that temperatures of 1,700 degrees Celsius were needed to make Ulfbert, which Viking smiths achieved 800 years before their time. Although the secret of its construction has been lost, modern blacksmith Richard Furrer managed to recreate a similar sword using medieval technology, although he described it as extremely complex.
The name Ulfbert engraved on the swords remains an enigma.
Some believe it represents a legendary blacksmith or a family of blacksmiths, while others suggest it could be related to a monastery or secret society. The Ulfbert were probably weapons of the Viking elite, as only 171 have been found. The origin of the technology used to create these swords is unknown, which has led to speculation about the influence of an advanced civilization on the knowledge of metallurgy. The mystery of the name Ulfbert and how the Vikings acquired this technology remains one of the great archaeological enigmas.